It's a tragedy for me to see the dream is over, and I never will forget the day we met. Girl, I'm gonna miss you. Duolambo maseve this week, we are in the Isuzu DMAX V-Cross 3-liter 4x4, and we're gonna have a conversation. It's a tragedy for me to see. Why are these indicators? New here, welcome. I hope you stay. Please click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notifications every time I post. And if you're an upstanding member of the Maseve Society, thank you so much. Don't forget to watch those ads because Kulavaga Gucci and all that jazz. Now let's get into the Isuzu DMAX V-Cross has interested you and you're looking for insurance on it. Click the link in my description box, which will direct you to the Hippo website where you can compare up to 12 different insurance codes. When I put in my details, I think the cheapest one was around 2,400 Rand if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy, you can be covered within minutes. So yeah. So let's get started with the exterior of the V-Cross, and I think this car is absolutely stunning. You have a large grille, you also have these circular headlamps, you know, with LED and daytime running lights, which I find to be really pretty. This color that it's finished in is called Pull Me Over Red, and boy oh boy have we been pulled over this week. I think it looks really cool. We've been stopped by cops. I've been stopped by cops. I think they just want to see, and I think also the Eastern Cape plates, they're like, who's this person in Gauteng with a bike with Eastern Cape plates? But it looks really cool. I mean, the color of this car is absolutely beautiful. Love the black accents and the red accents as well. When you move on to the rear, you have the Isuzu badging on the tailgate. You also have a roller shutter, which is quite nice, and very beautiful exterior. Like, I feel like this is probably one of the best looking bakkies in the market right now, but we'll probably get into that a little bit later in the verdict as I tell you in detail how I feel about this car. But I think the exterior for me, especially in this color, the last V-Cross I drove was white, and you guys know me and white cars, but this color is everything. So as you guys can tell, I'm geeking over the color. They match my nails. Well, the color matches my nails. Yo, score. But yeah, the exterior for me, 10 out of 10. Moving on to the interior, that's where things get a little bit bland, right? So the interior is quite dated for me upon first glance, like, you know, a bit of a medieval and a bit of an old school retro kind of interior, but it's very functional. You know, you have a analog cluster up in front of you, you have a little digital screen as well that shows you your oil temperature and your fuel gauge. You have a multifunction steering wheel. This vehicle is equipped with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have this large infotainment system screen. You also have a one USB port over there. Your drive modes are also located here. I love the climate control menu. It's just nice dials, you know, nothing too touchscreen, nothing too fancy. There's conventional buttons for the volume. So it's a very nice and well put together interior. My favorite feature about Isuzu is where they place their hazards button. Right here on the dash. Great placement. Perfect placement. And then you also have a bit of a storage space also on the dashboard as well, which is quite nice. The interior, however, for me is well put together. You know, these leather seats, you know, the upholstery on the steering wheel, the door panels, very good quality interior. This gear lever, you also got 2 cup holders up in front here, which is quite nice. The one thing that I've picked up that I don't like about this car is that the door bins are quite narrow. So I'm trying to think of someone who works with a lot of like papers and slips and stuff. Putting them in here, it's gonna get full quite quickly, you know? So the door bins are a bit of a problem for me. I love the fact that the center console, I can rest my arm. So I really like the interior, you know, the black roof lining as well. There's storage for your glasses. Very well equipped interior, very nice. Although it's a bit of an eyesore, I think ergonomically it's very well laid out. Everything is legible and easy to use. So I'm not too fussy about it. But like I say, we'll get into all of that in the Let's get into the drive. What is powering the Isuzu DMAX V-Cross? So the V-Cross uses a 3-liter turbo diesel engine that produces 140 kilowatts and 450 Newton meters of torque, mated to a 6-speed ASIN gearbox. Very nice. I love the way it drives. The only thing I'm having an issue with is the diesel grunt. When you start it up, very pronounced diesel grunt. However, I'm not very fussy about it because it is a bakkie. So it's going to be there. It's going to have a pronounced diesel grunt. In terms of driving, this is the power plant to have. They have what they call an X-Rider, I think that's the X-Rider, which is a 1.9 liter engine, and I think that's the one you should not get. I understand it's probably for value for money purposes, but I drove that car and it was heavily sluggish. It was very, very sluggish. A car of this size cannot have a displacement that's lower than 2 liters. At least have a 2.2 liter. That 1.9 is just, I couldn't deal with it. However, the 3 liter, power retention is good, gear changes are quite smooth, you know, it moves, it doesn't feel sluggish, doesn't feel heavy. You know, you get bakkies that feel very heavy and bakkies that feel very laden and cumbersome. This, as you move off the line at the robots and stuff like that, it just makes a lot of noise, but it's actually a pleasure to drive. And I think you can long distance this car very, very easily. You know, if you have a family and you want to take the bakkie on a long trip, I think you'll be fine. The only thing will probably be the noise of the engine. But other than that, it's really, really good. For a car that has also just big tires, it's actually quite comfortable to drive. So I'm very impressed with the drive of the Isuzu. Not much to fuss about in that regard. So I'll put all the screens here. I'll put all the details regarding the fuel consumption on the screen. But I don't think I've been getting anything less than 10 liters, guys. I have a heavy foot. So I'll put that on the screen for you. But for me, the drive is very pleasant. And I'm quite impressed. I'm very happy with it. Okay, now let's get into the verdict. What does Batung Roboto Ela Iwile? Guys, what is happening in this country and people knocking down robots? This is a state of emergency. The roboto hadibereke, they don't work and they are being knocked down every day. They're just dropping, bruh. Anyway, now I've lost my train of thought. I'm busy crying about robots, but they hardly ever work. Like, I'm surprised that the robots here are actually working. And considering that it's raining, I'm actually very shocked. Anyway, what does maseve think of the Isuzu DMAX V-Cross? Right. So the DMAX is in a very concentrated segment. You have, you know, it's in a segment with cars such as the Toyota Hilux, your Ford Ranger, VW Amarok. You can add also the Chinese bakkies, your JACs. You have your P series as well, the GWM P series, the P500 as well, in terms of pricing. So quite a concentrated segment. However, Isuzu manages to sell a lot of units, considering that this brand only has 2 vehicles in its whole lineup, MUX and this. There's no other car in Isuzu's lineup, but they still dominate the sales charts monthly. And it just goes to show, hore, this car is actually good craftsmanship. This car is also locally built or locally assembled, much like the other few vehicles I've mentioned, the Hilux and the Ranger. So you're supporting South African production as well. And it's really a good car. So the pricing for the V-Cross, the unit as we have it here, it's priced from 899,000 Rand. So just under R1 million or 900,000 Rand for this vehicle. And with it being the flagship vehicle or the flagship spec of the DMAX, I think it's worth the money. I think that it's priced well. Under R1 million, I think it's fine. You're getting everything in one. You're getting a workhorse, you're getting a double cab, you're getting a great, sufficient load bay, you're getting a roller shutter as well. It's only the interior that is a bit of a problem for me because it's a bit dated, considering how the Ranger and the Amarok's interior are just so beautiful. Same with the P500. I think you guys saw the review that I did of the P500. That interior is out of this world. So I really do think that they could improve on this Madala spec interior. Like, this interior is just a bit of an eyesore for me. However, the car as a whole, the car as a product is absolutely stunning. I've driven Isuzu products quite a number of times. I'm always impressed by them. And they're fairly reliable cars. I mean, you know, it really is a good brand. So now, as we're speaking about the rivals, I think for the sake of this review, I'm going to touch on the other cars I've mentioned that play in this segment. So we'll just have a bit of a holistic conversation about it. I think this one and the Hilux are similar in terms of the interior, the datedness, you know, and I feel like they appeal to a more mature audience, right? You know, people who just want practicality and a workhorse. Whereas I feel like the Range and the Amarok are more of your lifestyle bakkies, where they appeal to a different market. For me, I'm a huge fan of the Isuzu. However, I am a huge sucker for a white Legend 50. The Toyota Hilux Legend 50 for me is look, man, I can forgive that interior. That thing looks beautiful on the outside with the black accents and the red Legend 15 yana accents and the bull bar. I'm a sucker for that. But when I look at the Isuzu as well, I think this is actually a very beautiful bike. Would I recommend it? Fully. If you don't want the V-Cross nonsense, you obviously can go on the lower spec. But like I said earlier, try and buy the 3-liter. The 3-liter makes a lot of sense for me, and I think it's a nice engine, and it's a nice displacement. Or you can move on to the tried and tested one. There is the 2.8 GD6 from Toyota, as well as the 2-liter from Ford and VW. So you can also, I think the 3-liter V6, the 3-liter V6 in the Wild Tracks and the Aventura, and the Aventura, they're already over 1 million. So trying to keep it under 1 million, I think your best bets are your 2 liters from Ford and VW and your 2.8 GD6, right? And there's also the 2.4 GD6 as well. Haven't driven that, so I don't know what it's like, so I don't want to comment on it as yet. But for me, the Isuzu is a proper workhorse. Looks the part, looks very beautiful. It's nice as well. Someone did ask me on TikTok about like whether I'd recommend it or not. I think she's a lady who's in business as well. I'd fully recommend this. And I'm not trying to be snacks, but looking at it at a risk perspective, I think this is a very low risk bike. So you should be fine with the DMAX. But ultimately for me, I am going to give the Isuzu DMAX V-Cross a 7.5 out of 10. I'm knocking points because of this interior. I understand maybe the demographic is a bit mature, but come on, man. It's beautiful on the outside. And then when you get into it, you're just like, brazo, no. It just needs some Noroxnyana, 6-gun, aromat, something. This interior just needs a bit of work, but it's nice. I really think it's a nice car. And that is it from me, maseve. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about the Isuzu DMAX V-Cross. Do you like, do you not like, or is there another vehicle that you would buy for 900,000 Rand? I forgot to speak about the P series, the P500. That is also a car with a very beautiful diesel engine, as well as the interior. So I love the interior of the P500. I think it's similarly priced. I think the P500 is a little bit cheaper. But yeah, we can just have a conversation in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this bikey. I think it's pretty and I really like it. Don't forget to also check out the Hippo website in my description box if you want to compare and contrast up to 12 different insurance codes on this vehicle or any other vehicle of your liking. I have eaten. I only had yogurt and coffee this morning, and I'm going to run some errands in this rain. This weather just wants me to be sleeping in and eating comfort food. Comfort food being like stampa, maybe got tlhakwana. Tlhakwana is, what is tlhakwana in English? Cow heels or pork trotters, something like that. Like tlhakwana, kebechinyana, man, like acha, just comfort, very homey food, man, like mihodu, man, like tripe, But now I have to work because why? Kulavega Gucci and all that jazz. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. We are on our way to 40,000 subscribers, so please do share, tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend that maseve is doing reviews and she has cool and fun and relatable reviews. Well, I'd like to think so. This is a long outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to watch those ads because Kulavega Gucci and all that jazz. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.